Quinton Rampage Jackson is no stranger to big fights and the big screen. What a career, and that journey continues. Lately, a new original MMA type movie, Lord of the Streets, is available exclusively on Tubi, which is a streaming service by Fox Entertainment. Big deal. It's a good one. And you have Rampage starring in it. You also have Anthony Treach, Criss, Richard Grieco, Anderson Silva, AJ McKee, and more. It's an action-packed movie. You guys got to check it out. And here's the man, the co-star of it, Quinton Rampage Jackson. Thank you so much. Hey, what was it like working on this film?
Man, it was great. It was great working on this film. Everybody was positive. You know, I made some great friends. You know, I got to work with Anderson Silva, and I worked with AJ McKee, and a lot of other great people, and Treach. You know, it was great working with Treach. I've been a fan of his for a long time. Great project.
It really, I got to see it. It really was so action-packed. And in this movie, you're actually playing the villain. So what was it like for you? Because in the 18 movie, you were playing B.A. Baracus. You were one of the heroes. What was it like getting the villain role?
Well, it was fun. You know, at first I thought it was going to be tough for me to play this role, but you know, it worked out pretty well. It was pretty fun doing it.
What did you like about the movie?
You know, I like a lot of stuff about the movie. You know, I liked the story. I like the story. It's a classic story. Kind of remind me of you know, Kickboxer a little bit from back in the day with you know, Van Damme. You know, it was you know, I think it was a great MMA movie. There's been a lot of MMA movies, but this one right here would be the one that you know, that would keep people interested in the movie. Some of the MMA movies, in my own opinion, haven't, you know, they haven't been up to par. But this one, I really like the story, and you know, this is an MMA movie, but it has a good story.
Yeah, and that's what's interesting to me, because it did have a good story. Not only was there fighting, but the whole movie, it told the story, ups and downs of especially the lead character, and just all other avenues, all other parts of it. And there was a lot of good fighting. And I'm wondering, were you involved in any of the fighting scenes as part of going through the fighting scenes and what to do? I know they had fight coordinators on this movie, but were you involved in any of that?
No, I wasn't involved in any of that. They had a great choreographer, Ona Chung. He's brilliant at what he's done, at what he do. So no, I wasn't involved in that.
What did you think too about getting in there and getting into a fight scene? Finally, I don't want to give anything. No Don Jardine spoiler alerts, but I don't want to give too much away. But just finally getting in there and just doing a little bit of action in there as well, because most of it was your acting.
Yeah. You know, it was fun. You know, I like I said before, I'm a big kid. You know, anything that's fun and they can allow me to be a big kid, I'm down with it. So it was fun.
Now, one of the fighters, AJ McKee, I'm wondering your thoughts of him, not only as an actor, but as a fighter. I don't know if you got to see his last fight that he had in Bellator.
Yeah, I was in his corner.
What was that like, Rampage? I know it was a tough loss, but he had the victory. Maybe we'll see a third fight, but what did you think then of that fight?
You know, I'm a firm believer, and you have to beat the champ to be the champ. You know, I'm an old school fighter. A lot of people feel like that's the way it should be, because you know, you're messing with people's legacy and people, you know, championships. And even though Pitbull did a great job, no disrespect to Pitbull, I just don't feel like he did enough to win the fight.
Do you think they'll run it back? They'll have a third one?
I think that's probably what they're planning. You know, hopefully they'll have a third one.
Now, in your acting, what do you like most about the acting part of it? And how did you get involved and started in acting? Because you were such a great fighter and did so much for UFC and bringing its legacy.
Well, back when I was fighting in Japan, I got injured after one of my fights. I broke that muscle between my ribs. I don't know what you call it, whatever it is, and I was out for a little while. And and this guy named Federico Lapenda, he used to be like a manager in MMA years before it was like popular, you know. And so he knew about me. He told me he was doing this film. He contacted me, and I just had a small part. I was supposed to just be a henchman for you remember Tiny Zeus Lester from Friday?
Professional wrestler and actor.
Yeah, yeah. I was supposed to be like a henchman for him, but um, they had like some type of contract disagreement, and I ended up getting his part of the movie. And this is my first time acting, and it was pretty hard for me to do it because the guy was playing twins, so I had two roles. Their character was twins in the movie, and you know I was nervous. I didn't know what to do. I had never had any acting training or whatsoever. Never really acted before, and Federico Lapenda just threw me in there. I think the name of the movie is called Bad Guys, and he said I did okay for somebody that never acted before. So I kind of got the bug there. Then later on, right as I healed up, I did like a fight movie with Art Camacho. I had like a fight movie, and that went great. It was fun. Then I just kept going. I got a manager, and I told the manager, I said, "Hey, if they ever do an 18 movie, I want to play B.A. Baracus." And sure enough, a few years later, um, they did an 18 movie, and I met up with John Singleton because he was attached to it at first. And John Singleton, you know, told me like, "Yeah, if you get some acting lessons, you'll be perfect for this role." And the rest was history.
And now it's Lord of the Streets with Quinton Rampage Jackson. Hey, did you get to meet Mr. T? And he's a big pro wrestling fan and was involved in pro wrestling too.
No, I never got a chance to meet him. I really wanted to meet him. I never met him.
Did you get to hear anything? Did any comments from him about the movie, the new 18 movie, and when you were in it? Or did you get any feedback from that realm?
I don't remember. He met with the director Joe Carnahan, and I can't remember exactly what was said, but he did. You know, Mr. T did give Joe Carnahan a Snickers bar to give to me because you know he was big on those Snickers commercials out in England. So he gave he gave he gave me a Snickers bar.
Man, what a great bouncer, what a great fighter, then what a great persona. And he was also WrestleMania. He was in the WrestleMania with Hulk Hogan, and wow, and was in WCW, Hogan versus Flair. He was part of that as well. It's so interesting. And Rampage, you were a big wrestling fan. I'm wondering, when you were growing up, did you watch some wrestling? If you did, who were some of your favorites?
Yeah, you know what? I'm from Memphis, so it's a big part of our culture. You know, my favorite wrestler was the Ultimate Warrior, and I grew up watching the Moondogs. You know what I'm saying? I love the Junkyard Dog and Hulk Hogan, Macho Man Randy Savage. You know, Andre the Giant. You know, I loved it.
Memphis wrestling was a great territory. You mentioned the Moondogs coming in with those bones that they had.
Yeah, yeah. I used to love them.
How did you then get involved in professional wrestling? Because you had some big spots yourself.
Yeah, I did a little professional wrestling. You know, the only reason why I started wrestling in high school is because I wanted to be a professional wrestler, and I had the opportunity to do some wrestling. Excuse me. I had the opportunity to do some wrestling, so I jumped at it, and it was fun, but I didn't get the chance to do as much as I would like to.
If that opportunity ever came up again, is that something you're still interested in doing?
I don't know. You know, I figured I'm too old and beat up now because a lot of people don't understand about pro wrestling. They call it fake and everything. I wouldn't say it's fake. I would say it's entertainment, but the moves and stuff they do, like, you got to be a great athlete. So I wouldn't call it fake. Yeah, it's entertainment. Yeah, it's probably scripted, but the level of skill it takes to be a pro wrestler, and those guys they wrestle like 300 days a year or something like that. It's crazy. There's no way I can do that.
The grind is incredible. And hey, you can't fake gravity either. What goes
Exactly.
up comes down, and those mat hurts and those ropes hurt. And if you don't do a move right, you're going to get injured as well. So
Oh
yeah, there's a
yeah,
lot of art to it.
yeah.
It's almost like a stuntman, actor, athlete all rolled into one.
That's what I say. It's like a live stuntman. It's live.
It's a lot of fun. Do you get to watch any of that today, or not too much?
No, I haven't watched it in a while.
And the other thing I wanted to address was just UFC, because when I think of UFC, I think of you, I think of Tito Ortiz, I think of Chuck Liddell. How do you feel about your legacy and just helping put UFC, in my opinion, on the mainstream map?
You know, I never really think about that. You know, it's strange for people to understand this, but when I first started fighting, it wasn't popular. Yep, you have to excuse me. I'm just getting back from Hawaii. I'm on a different time zone.
You're in Hawaii. Hey, what fun? Did you have any fun out there?
Well, I was out there mostly working, but it's always fun in Hawaii. But what I was saying is, when I got involved in the sport, it wasn't popular, so I never thought about my impact on the sport or anything. I just looked at it as a job, and by the time I made it to the UFC, it was just the way I supported my family. You know what I'm saying? So that's my only focus. But you know, going back and look at it, it's you know, I'm proud to have an impact on the sport, but I never give it much more thought than that.
Well, I know that Tito and others, I believe Anderson Silva, who stars in this movie too, is someone that got involved in this trilogy, celebrity boxing type of events that are going on. And I don't know if you've seen any of these or even have any interest in any of these.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, I would love to do some boxing. I was trying to box Shannon Briggs, but you know, it never panned out. So, you know, I'm not giving up, but it's kind of like, no, I would like to box one day.
Yeah, Shannon Briggs still keeps himself in pretty good shape. He lives here in South Florida. Just saw him the other night at a bare knuckle fighting event and all. He's doing well and all. That would be an interesting fight to see if that could ever be worked out.
Was he saying, "Let's go, champ"?
Yes. Yes, he was. That's the best. That's the best.
Are you tired of hearing that yet?
No, I don't see him that often, so I don't get tired of it. Okay. It's like Hulk Hogan calling you brother.
Yeah, brother. What you gonna do, brother? When the biggest pythons in MMA want to ride on you, brother?
Hey, Rampage. Movie-wise, Lord of the Streets. Everybody's got to check this out. Really good action and all. Are there any other movie projects for you upcoming?
Yeah, I did another movie right after I did that one. I think the title is called Mojave Diamonds or something like that. And the roles was kind of similar. So me doing Lord of the Streets kind of helped me prepare for the other movie. And you know, the roles was very similar. And then in June I'm doing a war film in Thailand. I don't know if I can speak about this movie yet, but you know, God willing, everything plans out, I'll be in Thailand shooting some type of war film.
Are you doing any training of others? Or I don't even know in the background. I know your fighting background, but I don't know about training others in combat sport and MMA, if that's something you've done or are interested in doing.
No, I don't train people. I have a short attention span. I have no patience, and I like to be a perfectionist. If they don't do it exactly the way I tell them to do it the first time, you know what I'm saying, I just can't handle it. So, you know, I have a 21-year-old son that's fighting, and he's trained by Antonio McKee, AJ's father, and you know, I show him like some of the things that worked well for me, but other than that, I don't really train anybody.
Oh, it's so interesting because you don't have to be a great fighter to be a great coach. You just have to do the opposite of what you said that you would do as a coach to become a really good coach.
Right.
And I'm wondering, even in your fighting days, pro wrestling and MMA, obviously more MMA, who are the coaches that really impacted you?
Well, I had some great coaches. Lance Gibson was a great coach that I had temporarily. I always loved working with Antonio McKee. He's been my coach for many fights, and Paul Herrera has been a great coach. And out in England, I had a really good um, um, Muay Thai coach, Dave Jackson. But my favorite coach of all is Bobby Rimmer out of the UK, a boxing coach. The way he teaches me boxing and how we get along, saying the guy, he knows exactly how I learn. We laugh around, but we work hard in the gym, and he's upped my boxing game tremendously. Bobby Rimmer.
On the pro wrestling front, I know it wasn't a long time. Did you get any help or training as far as from coaches, other wrestlers?
No, see, that was a problem. I never got trained in pro wrestling. That's why you didn't see me a lot. I don't want to talk bad about the organization, but I just don't think they utilize me as much as I felt like they should. I think if I was trained correctly, who knows what could have happened? I probably could have been a big star in pro wrestling. Who knows?
It's so key, Rampage, when these companies have training centers and when they don't have training centers. And it really impacts, because nowadays you see WWE, AEW, some of these other groups, and what do they have? They have their own training centers. So they could take athletes from other sports, bring them to the training center and give them proper training, which is, it's so vital. It's so key. So let's wrap this up. Rampage, we'll wrap this thing up here. I appreciate your time. I'm curious, were you also a big sports fan growing up? Did you have any favorite sports teams?
No, I'm from Memphis, and growing up, we didn't have our own team. So I was kind of salty about that, so I never got into sports. Still to this day, I really don't watch sports.
You're not into the sports. So really, you're more into the action of doing it yourself, and also in acting, fighting, but not actually watching anything.
Exactly. I rather do it than watch it.
What things do you like to watch if you are watching anything then?
I like to watch comedies, action comedies, stuff like that. And I will watch fights if my friends are fighting. I like to watch some of the boxing matches. I haven't watched a whole lot of boxing since Mike Tyson retired, but I watched Floyd Mayweather throughout the years, and Manny Pacquiao. And I used to be a really big fan of Ricky Hatton. But other than that, I'm a big kid. I play video games.
Hey, did you get to see Anderson Silva fight Tito Ortiz in the boxing match?
No, I missed that one. I saw the highlights though, but I missed that one.
What do you think of Anderson's movie chops? I thought he did really well in the movie Lord of the Streets.
I was very impressed with Anderson's acting. I was very impressed.
He really made you hate him.
Yeah.
It's so interesting, because also watching you, and I'm seeing this, and I'm like, oh man, I don't like, I don't like that guy. I don't like that guy. Did you draw anything from anyone or anything that's
I wanted to make my character like Nino Brown mixed with Suge Knight. Nino Brown from New Jack City. That's what I thought. As soon as I read, that's the first thing that came to my mind. I said, man, this guy's like Suge Knight mixed with Nino Brown, and that's kind of like how I wanted to play him, but without copying off any of them.
Oh, you gave it your own flair for sure. And hey, we're gonna wrap this up. Again, I want to thank you so much for taking the time. And I'm curious. I don't know if you've ever have you done any comedy yet? And is that something, if you haven't done it, you'd like to try?
No, I haven't really done any comedy. I had like a small cameo role in Miss May, which is kind of funny, but I would love to do comedy. I haven't done any of that yet.
I think you would be great in it. I think Rampage Jackson could do it, pull it off. You pulled off everything else. You could pull that off too.
I think I can.
Quinton Rampage Jackson, thank you so much for the time. All the best.
Thank you, brother.